I teach at the University, Makerere, Uganda, and I study mainly performance, popular song and poetry, and I teach African poetry. I think that these culture forms, I think literature in general is a very important element in society. But I also think, especially in the context of Uganda, the context of Africa, that these culture forms of popular song, of poetry, are very key in influencing society because they speak directly to the culture of a people. And as you know, culture is the way of living of a people. It is the heart of a people. It's how people express themselves. So poetry and popular song are in the center of people's expression and people's feelings and people's emotions. I believe firmly in poetry improving our world because I believe that words are what make us human. Animals don't speak. We are human, I think, because we have a language, we can hear each other, we can communicate one to another. And I think that wrong does not make right, but wrong must be pointed out. So I speak out. I'm very passionate about speaking out against wars, against injustices, against social injustice, against marginalization of other people, because I myself was born in a district in Uganda which suffered a long civil war that brought the current government to power. And so I know what it means to lose people. I know what it means to lose people very close to you. I know what it means to see museums of skulls and you know that those are your people. And I think that this has to change. I don't think governments can change this. I think human beings can change this. And I think that then poetry has a role because poetry, at least in Africa, poetry is one form where we speak one to another. And so when I can tell my brother through words, through expression, through performance, that this is not right, then that is the beginning of change. Because then we are speaking as human beings. I think it's better to hold conversations about what is going wrong in society rather than using guns. Because guns have been used since they were invented in the world, but they have never changed the world. My mother is a very big figure in my life, and I think mothers across the world hold the world together. I think that women and mothers, without discriminating against men or anybody, I think that women, especially in Africa, are the anchors of society. Because we in Africa and in Uganda, we are a patriarchal society. Whether I want to deny it or not, that's the truth. And therefore, the women are the ones that are left to hold families together because the patriarchal system conditions everybody to think that men are the breadwinners. They bring you the food. So women become nurturers. They become the ones, the glue that keeps together the communities. When there is war, the men go to war. The women stay back. When it's war, women are used as weapons in war. They are the ones whose bodies are shamed. They are the ones whose dignity is stripped even more forcibly than their male counterparts. So for me, mothers are the light of the world. They are the ones that keep our spirits going. They are the ones that are the anchor of survival. when everything else fails, in my belief, mothers are the ones that will actually bring things back together. I do not believe in the superiority of people. I believe in people holding hands. I believe that we can facilitate each other. I think that Europe has a lot to offer and Africa has a lot to offer. It's just that Africa has had a lot to cope with in terms of what happened in terms of history. We have the history of slavery. We have the history of colonialism. And we also have the history of our leaders becoming the colonialists after the colonialists left. And so we have all these complex problems. But I think instead of, for example, the World Bank coming with their policies and saying, if Africa doesn't do this, we won't do the other for Africa, coming as always as the big brother or big sister, I think it may be better for us as continents to study each other, to see where we can have intersections, meeting points, to see whether Africa needs policies from Europe, or that we need to facilitate each other to study what works in Africa